ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् अतुलितबलधामं हेमशैलाभदेहं दनुजवनकृशानं ज्ञानिनाम् अग्रगण्यं सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणाम् अधीशं रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि। नमः श्री तुलसीदास सद्वरिष्ठाय धीमते पूरितं हृदयं येन राम प्रेमामृते नमे। Okay, so we will go ahead and chant until the 12th chopai. So you can all mute and then chant with me. Okay. श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनौ रघुबर बिमल जस जोदायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मही हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बलधाम अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नाम महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवारु सुमति के संगी कंचन बरण विराज सुवेश कानन कुंडल कुंचित केश हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ चाजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर शिवर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समभाई. So we'll stop there. I think we can see all these chopais now. Okay, so in the last class we saw Sukshma Rupadari Siyahi Dikava, Vikata Rupadari Lank Jarava, and Bhima Rupadari Asura Samare, Ramachandra ke Kaj Samare. So Hanumanji appeared in front of Sita ji in Sukshma Rupa, in a very subtle form, tiny form. In Sri Ramcharitmanas, Tulsidas ji says Hanumanji assumed a small form of the size of a mosquito. Masaka Samana. That's what he says there. So what it shows us is when you go in front of your parents, mother, your guru, your elders, always be humble. Don't show off your greatness in front of them. And Bhima Rupadari, Vikata Rupadari Lankacharava. But taking this terrible form, he burned the entire Lanka. And what is the symbolism of that one? Burning of Lanka is symbolic of destruction of our material attachments. So we saw all these things in detail in our last class. So now let us continue to Chopai 10 here. Okay. भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज समारे. Bhim Rupa Dhari Asura Samhare. Dhari, assuming a Bhima Rupa, that gruesome form, what did he do? Asura Samhare. He destroyed the demons. And then Ramachandra ke Kaj Samhare. So Tulsidas ji says, you accomplished all the tasks of Lord Rama with great tactfulness and with great efficiency. So Hanumanji, we see here, Hanumanji took three different forms: Sukshma Rupa, Vikata Rupa, and also Bhima Rupa. So this Bhima Rupa is that the what you call like the colossal form. Okay, he took that one for what? To destroy the asuras. So Hanumanji knew what is the best way, what form he should take for accomplishing what kind of tasks of Sri Ramchandraji. Symbolically, Asura means Ahankara, our ego. Lord Krishna says in the 15th chapter, Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishtaha matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. So he says, I'm seated in the hearts of all living beings, and from me come the memory, smriti, jnana, that is knowledge, and also apohanam, as well as the forgetfulness also. So it is futile to have pride in our intellect. It is actually given to us by that Bhagavan only. If he has given something to us, he can take it away also from us. So don't be proud of your intellect, your knowledge, okay, and be humble here. So whenever we become proud, what happens is of any ability, proud of any of our ability, Bhagavan makes sure that he humbles that by bringing us down in that same ability. See, and we see many instances in Ramayana, Mahabharata, and also in Upanishad about this one. In Ramayana, one prasanga is Dhanush Bhanga. Sita ji, she lifted Shiva Dhanush as a little girl. And Janak Maharaj saw that one, and at that time itself he decided that her husband is going to be the one who can lift this Shiva Dhanush. Okay, so many kings with a lot of pride about their ability came to try to lift that bow, but they could not. And there was Ravana also who came to lift that bow, and he could not do that. They could not move the bow even an inch. What it shows is Bhagavan is telling, if you cannot move even an inch, then get rid of your pride. But they don't do it. And they pay the consequences for that also. And in Mahabharata, Bhima is going to Kadalivana to get some flowers. It's called Saugandhika Pushpa to Draupadi. Okay. And to Kadali Vana, there is there's some other mountains, the name I forgot, and that is where Hanuman used to stay. Hanuman from Treta Yuga, since he is Chiranjeevi, he is living in the Dwapara Yuga also there. And Hanuman sees Bhima walking with so much anger and arrogance and all. So he feels, let me teach him something. And you all know that story, right? Hanuman, then Hanumanji takes the form of an old monkey and he sits spreading his tail across the road, and all that. So, and Bhima, Hanumanji tells Bhima, please, you move my tail. I'm very, very old. I cannot. And he tries, but Bhima could not. And even the tail would not budge even an inch. At that time, Bhima realizes this is not an ordinary monkey. It has to be somebody powerful and great. So he bowed down to Hanumanji and asked for his real identification. So Hanumanji tells that he is Hanuman, and he narrates Ramayana to Bhima at that time. And Bhima at that time wishes to see that Vikata Rupa, that huge form that Hanumanji took to leap across the ocean. And Bhima sees that form of Hanumanji at that time, that Shailavadeham. That's what we call. And of course, Hanumanji assumed Bhima Rupa when he got permission from Sita ji to go and eat the fruits in the Ashoka Vatika. And also he killed some Rakshasas who came to fight with him. So Bhima Rupadari Asuru Samhare. So another thing is, during Rama and Ravana war, Hanumanji took Bhima Rupa for Asura Samhare. In Kavitavali, Lord Rama himself praises Hanuman's fighting. And he describes to Lakshmana. And he tells Lakshmana, see Hanuman, how he is fighting. His long tail coils around warriors, seizes them and throws them down. So Vikata Rupa, Bhima Rupa there. And so lesson for us here is, if I want to be successful, I must know when to become small, when to become big, when to show my power and strength, and when to surrender in spite of the strength and the power I have. That clarity must be in us. Hanumanji took all different forms, not for his glory, but show his power for the sake of the Bhagwan's sake. Ramachandra ke kaaj samare. He knew what is the best way of accomplishing Bhagwan's tasks. I heard this one, but I'm not sure if it is true or not, but I'm just going to tell you. It is said that when Americans, went to moon, they could not write because the ink, because of the gravitational force, does not flow down, it goes up. So it is said that Americans spent millions of dollars trying to come up with a pen that would work on moon. But Russians, when they went, they took a pencil with them. Smart thinking, right? So that is what Hanuman did. Smart thinking. When to be what? He knew that one. Ramachandra ke kaaj samare. Why does Bhagavan takes avatara? Rama kaaj. Okay. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we all know these two verses. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. And then paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So whenever there is decline in righteousness and there is increase in unrighteousness, Bhagavan says, I manifest myself on earth. And manifesting, what does he do? Well, he protects the righteous and he destroys the wicked. And he re-establishes the principles of dharma. It's not that he starts a new religion. No, he just re-establishes. That's all he does. And he appears on this earth yuge yuge, on like a age after age, yuga after yuga. So when he says to annihilate the wicked, that is, who is wicked? Asuras. Why does he annihilate the Asuras? Only because if they are not able to change, if Bhagavan is not able to convert them, then he removes them from this earth. And Hanumanji helped Rama to accomplish this task. Tulsidas ji in Hanuman Bahuk, he says, with your strength, he's telling Hanumanji, with your strength, King Rama, accomplished all the tasks of the deities. Remember, it is the Devatas who went to Bhagavan Vishnu and asked him to protect them from Ravana. So that is the thing. So Hanumanji is like the right hand of Lord Rama, and he is a trusted aid of Lord Rama also. So Bhima Rupadari Asuru Samhare, Ramachandra ke Kaju Samvare. So what is the take-home message from this Chopai to us? See, generally we talk about secret of success, but there is secret of failure also. And that is the asura, that is the pride, that is the ego. So whenever we succeed a few times in our life, we become very proud. I always succeed. That mother, that pride arises in us. At that time, by God's grace, if we can remember, my success is not because of my effort, but it is because of Bhagavan's Kripa, who is the inner controller who dwells in everybody's heart. Then this asura, this ego does not rise in us. That way, Bhagavan doesn't have to bring us down also if we don't have ego. Then, what did Hanuman do on the battlefield when Lakshmana was hit by Indrajit's arrow? So that is the next chopai. Laya Sajivana Lakhana Jiyaye Shri Raghubira Harashivura Laya. Laya Sajivana Lakhana Jiyaye. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So Laya Sajivana Lakhana Jiyaye. So Tulsidas ji says, Hanuman, you brought that Mrita Sanjeevini to revive Lakshmana, who had fainted on the battlefield. And this act of yours made Sri Raghuvira Harashivurulaye. Lord Rama embraced you with great joy. So this episode we see in Lanka Kand. So battle is going on between Lord Rama and Ravana. In the battle, normally the chief commander, he does not go on the battlefield in the beginning. He sends all his strong warriors one after another. Why? Because if the chief commander himself goes on the very first day, okay, and if he gets killed, what's going to happen to the other warriors and the army and all that? So he sends his warriors one after the another. And on Ravana's side, all the great warriors, including the Kumbhakarna, were all dead. At that time, his fearless son, that is Meghanath. Why is he called Meghanath? It is said that when he was born, he thundered like the clouds. So Meghanath, that sound that he made, so he was named Meghanath. And of course, he is also known as Indrajit because he conquered Indra. That means, he in the war, Indra was defeated by Meghanath. So he is known as Indrajit, one over Indra there. And he comes on the battlefield and he roars like Meghanath, thunder, and struck Ramji's army like lightning. So many monkeys and everything, everybody on Sri Ramchandraji's side were frightened by that roar and they all died because of fear. And Meghanath was known to fight a cunning war, Maya war. Okay. And so when Lakshmana destroyed Indrajit's chariot and the weapons, then Indrajit became very desperate and he shot a very potent missile, an arrow, towards Lakshmana, and Lakshmana fell unconscious. You all know that story, these stories, but I'm telling you because Laya Sajivanu Lakana Jiyaye. Because of that, I'm repeating these stories. So Meghnad wanted to take that unconscious Lakshmana as a souvenir to his father. But he could not lift him. He could not even move him even an inch. So Meghnad left Lakshmana in the battlefield to die. So how can Indrajit actually lift Lakshmana? Tulsidas ji says, Lakshmana was an avatar of Sheshnag. And look at the foolishness of Meghnad, that the Lord, that is the Sheshanag, who supports the whole Brahmanda on his head, and that Lord, this foolish Meghnad wants to lift. So, but Hanumanji came and with no effort, easily he picked up Lakshmana, put him on his shoulder and brought him to Ramji. And now Ramji sees Lakshmana in coma and there is no hope of revival because nobody knows what to do with it, what to do. And so at that time, Rama starts lamenting. He grieved so profusely. He says, Lakshmana is my breath and I cannot live without him. How am I going to return to Ayodhya without Lakshmana? What am I going to tell Mother Sumitra? Am I going to tell her that I was not able to protect your son? What is it that I'm going to be able to say, Urmila? Urmila, I'm sorry. So like this, Ramji is doing Vilapa. He has lost hope. And all the monkeys are standing around, they are also crying and they don't know what to do. At that time, Hanuman went to Lanka and brought that royal physician of Ravana, that is Sushena, along with his house, and but because the dispensary, his house is the dispensary, right? So he brought the dispensary also. How? On the advice of Vibhishana. Remember when Hanumanji was taken in procession around Lanka's roads, Hanumanji had seen everything where it was. It was like the whole GPS went in his head. So he knew exactly where Sushena's house was there. So he brought him there. And when Sushena came, he declined to treat Lakshmana because he said, he is on my king's enemy's side. In Valmiki Ramayana, Valmiki explains what is the duty of a doctor. No borders when it comes to treating a patient. In Mahabharata, actually, we see during the Kurukshetra war, there was a common dispensary and a common kitchen. All the wounded soldiers were treated and fed. There was no distinction whether the soldier belonged to the Kaurava side or the Pandava side. And then Sushena examines Lakshmana when he is told the the duty of a doctor. Okay, so he checks Lakshmana and he says the only thing that could save him was that special herb called the Mrita Sanjeevani that grew on Drona mountains in Himalayas. And that also has to be brought before the sunrise. Hanuman says, that is no problem at all. And he says very beautifully, how long will it take for him to go and come back? He says, as much time as it takes for the mustard seeds to splatter when it is dropped in the hot oil. So he has so much confidence. Yes, I can do this one. So he went to Himalayas, and of course, on the way, there was this Kalanemi sent by Ravana to obstruct Hanuman's path. He killed him also. And then when he goes that near the Drona mountain, he doesn't know which is Sanjeevani herb. So he decides to bring the whole mountain with him and to show it to Sushena, and Sushena was able to get the herb and revive Lakshmana's life. Laya Sajivana Lakana Jiyaya. And afterwards, Hanumanji actually took the Drona mountain back to Himalaya also and placed it where he brought it from. Same way he took Sushena with his house to Lanka also. So Hanumanji made an impossible task possible and that made Sri Ramchandraji at that time Sri Raghuvira Harashivuru Laye. Ramji embraced Hanumanji with lot of joy. See, we have seen that Rama and Lakshmana and Sita ji stay in Hanumanji's heart. When they are in his heart, nothing is impossible. It is possible for us also. If we remember that Bhagavan is in our heart and he is the one who gives us the strength also. But most of the time we shy away, even putting an effort. At that time, we should remember, Mehnat Meri, Rahmat Teri. We can only try, we can only do our best and leave the rest to God. Gurudev says, see the spelling of impossible. It says, I am possible. I can make it possible. Nothing is impossible. And when this happened, Ramji did not know what to give Hanumanji to show his appreciation. And he says, Hanumanji brought my breath back. He saved me, not just Lakshmana. We see, whenever we want to pay back, it is always with some material things. And there are some things in life, it is best if we leave it like that. It is better to be indebted to them. Because there is no way we can pay back in a material way. And even if you give your entire life, it is less only. So embracing Hanumanji, Ramji says, there is no material thing that I can give you. Actually, it will be an insult if I give you some object. So I can give you, what I'm giving you is me, myself. Saying that, Sri Ramchandraji embraced Hanumanji. See, generally, a devotee surrenders to the Lord. But in Hanumanji's case, his qualities were such, Ramji says, I give myself to you. So Hanumanji becomes one with the Lord. This is what we call in Vedanta Brahma Sparsha. Hanumanji experienced that bliss supreme. Guruji writes, when Lord embraces his devotee, Lord places his heart in the devotee's heart. So if you want to find Lord, you have to search for him in the heart of a true devotee. So now let us look at some of the symbolism that is here. As we all know, Ramji stands for knowledge, and Sitaji for devotion, and Lakshmana stands for Vairagya, dispassion. See, in life, whenever we see a sensuous object, or even the thought of a sensuous object comes, which is so powerful, whatever the little vairagya that we have, it goes into coma. When there is the right knowledge, there is the peace. Same way, when there is dispassion with a clear thinking, that is with clear knowledge, then we are able to fight these desires, the desires of sensual objects and all that. So vairagya with knowledge is very important. The vairagya should be backed by knowledge. So we see Sri Ramchandraji, that is the knowledge. He becoming weak when Lakshmana, dispassion, becomes unconscious. So knowledge is affected when dispassion becomes weak. And the other thing is, we're taking Ravana. Ravana represents delusion, moha. And the son of delusion is desire. Meghnad, who, he represents the desire, who roars like the thunder. And when he roars, all the devatas run away. When desire roars in our heart, all the good qualities that are inside, they also run away as though. So then Meghnad sends this arrow. It is said, one side of that arrow had the fire, and the other side of that arrow had water. The fire represents the dvesha, and water represents raga. So when the arrow of desire hits, we cannot avoid these two, raga and dvesha. Raga, attachment; dvesha, aversion or hatred. So the mind which has lot of dispassion cannot come under this way of raga and dvesha, but it will get hit sometimes. But when raga and dvesha are not very strong, it cannot kill dispassion. And that's what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kama krodhodbhavam vegam sayuktasya sukhi naraha. Those persons are yogis who are able to check the forces of desire and anger. And they alone are sukhi naraha, happy people. They are the yogis. And that yogi, sa yogi, brahma nirvanam, brahma bhutodi gacchati. That means those yogis are united with the Lord and are liberated from this material existence. That means they become jivan mukta. So this desire and anger has to be controlled. We have to overcome that. We have to transcend both of these things. So, and there is another episode in Ramayana when Hanumanji is bringing that Dronachala, mountain to Lanka to revive Lakshmana. It was night. And when he was flying over Ayodhya, Bharata, in the night, he is outside watching over Ayodhya. And he sees Hanumanji, but he doesn't know it is Hanumanji. And he thinks it is a Rakshasa. So he shoots a blunt arrow at Hanuman. And Hanumanji falls down chanting Ram, 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 Ram. Then Hanumanji tells Bharata who he is, and he tells, in a what do you call, in a small way, not not in detail, what is happening and what he is carrying. So Bharata feels very, very bad, and he says, let me help you. And he tells Hanuman, sit on my arrow and I will shoot, and it will go to Lanka, and you will be able to meet the deadline that he is supposed to reach Lanka before sunrise. So that's what happens. Children ask when you tell this story, when Hanumanji fell, what happened to the mountain? Did it fall also? Did it fall also? I'm sure we also have that question, but we are not, we are shy to ask that question, right? Okay, well, it is said that Pavana, the Lord Vayu, held that mountain in the sky with his power. And Hanumanji picked that mountain up. So here, the arrow of Bharatji represents the thought of Upasaka, whose mind is so well tuned, whenever he thinks of the Lord, that arrow reaches Bhagavan directly. So this is Laya Sajivana Lakana Jiyaye Sri Raghuvira Harashivura Laya. And I read another symbolism of this one, where it says Ravana is symbol of ignorance, Ajnana. And because of that Ajnana, he develops Ahankara also. And in Sri Ram Charitmanas, Tulsidas ji calls Ravana Maha Abhimani, ego personified. And Ravana's war is with Ramji, who stands for knowledge. So the battle is between knowledge and ignorance. In the end, it is knowledge that is going to win. Light over darkness. And when you have ignorance, what is ignorance that we have? I don't know, I am, that consciousness. I don't know who I am. I consider myself as this body. Then what happens? The desires come in this body, and that is Meghnad. And that is son of Ravana, son of ignorance. Because you see, if you know that you are that Brahman, you are that consciousness, you are that everything, where is the desires? But only when you feel yourself as limited, then you have the desires. So here, Kamarupi Meghanad fights with the Vairagya Rupi Lakshmana. And this war between Lakshmana and Meghanad happens twice actually. One time, Lakshmana becomes unconsciousness, and the second time, Lakshmana is able to kill Meghanad. See, it is very difficult to win over the desires, that is Meghanad. It can be done only with the blessings of the Lord. So it is said, first time when Lakshmana went to fight Meghanad, he was so sure that he will be able to kill Meghanad. He didn't even prostrate to Bhagavan to get his blessings. And what happened? He was hit by the arrow. But the second time, Sri Ramji sends him. So from the at that time, the Lakshmana bows down to Sri Ramchandraji and he wins over Meghanath. He is able to kill Meghanath. And when first time when he becomes unconscious, then only it is the Guru in the Hanumanji in the form of Guru comes with the medicine to revive. That is Shraddha Rupi mountain with Bhakti Rupi Sanjeevani Bhuti. So Sanjeevani Bhuti stands for Bhakti Rasa here. Bhakti alone has the strength to remove the asakti, our attachments and desires, and revive vairagya again. So in Bhagavatam also we see Gnana and Vairagya are the children of Bhakti Mata. And they had become old and weak because they were not nurtured. But Bhakti Mata was looking young. So what does Narada Muni do? He revives the children, the Gnana and Vairagya, with the Bhagavad Katha Shravan. That is Bhakti. So even in us, to make sure that our Vairagya is strong and our knowledge is also strong, it's very important that we have constant satsanga and keep that bhakti in us blossoming. As Tulsidas ji says in Sri Ramcharitmanas, Binu Satsanga Vivekana Hoyi, Rama Kripa Binu Sulabana Soyi. So this is the Chopai, Layas Jivana, Lakana Jiyaye, Sri Raghuvira, Harashivurulai. So when Hanumanji brought Sanjeevani and revived Lakshmana, Ramji was so overjoyed, he embraced Hanumanji. But he did not stop there. What did he do? He started praising Hanumanji. So the next chopai is Raghupati kinhi bahutu badai, tumu mama priya bharatahi samabhai. Raghupati kinhi bahutu badai. Sri Ramchandraji started praising Hanumanji abundantly, bahut. Like saying what? Tumu mama priya bharatahi samabhai. You are as dear to me as Bharata is dear to me. Or it can say, if you put the words in a different way, you can say, oh, brother Hanuman, you are dear to me as Bharata. But this is not correct. You know why? Because Sri Ramchandraji called Hanumanji Suta, my son. So you can, Bhagavan is not calling Hanumanji my brother. Okay, so here his brother goes with Bharata here. Usually the devotee praises the Lord, but in case of Hanumanji, everything is reverse. Bahutu badai. Again and again, Ramji is praising Hanuman. And Hanumanji again and again falling at the feet of Bhagavan. And Ramji again and again, he picks up Hanumanji and he holds him tight to his heart. Hanumanji with his tears of devotion doing Abhisheka of Ramji's feet. And Ramji with the tears of love bathing Hanumanji. The Lord and his devotee were wrapped in each other's arms. So keep this picture in your heart. It will melt you also. But when Bhagavan praised Hanumanji, the praise did not go to Hanumanji's head, even a little bit. When ordinary people praise us, we are in the seventh heaven. Here Hanumanji is praised by Bhagavan himself, not by ordinary people. And what did Ramji praise him as? Tumo mama priya bharatahi samabhayi. You are as dear to me as Bharata is. See, it is believed that everyone meditates on Lord Rama. But Sri Ramchandra ji meditates on his younger brother who is very dear to him. So when we read this one, we get some questions in our mind. Did Ramji love Bharata more than Lakshmana? Lakshmana served Ramji day and night in the forest. Still he loved Bharata more. Wasn't Lakshmana hurt when he said that, Hanuman, you are like my Bharata? See, when a mother has 3 children and say one of the child is gone abroad for studies, don't you think mother will think of this child that is in a different country more than the children that are in front of her? Same way here also. It is said, Bharata followed Sri Ramchandraji's advice. In the sense, he took Sri Ramchandraji's padukas and he went back to Ayodhya. And he ruled Ayodhya in the name of Sri Ramchandraji. But he did not live in the palace of Ayodhya. He stayed outskirts Nandigrama, because when Bhagavan Sri Ramchandraji is not in the palace and he is living in a forest, Bharata also did not want to live in the palace. And it is said, even in Nandigrama, even though he made a small hut to live, he dug a hole in the earth and he would sleep in that hole. Why? Because Bhagavan is walking on the earth and he wants to be below that. That is how much Bharata loved his brother Ramji, staying away from Sri Ramchandraji. And Sri Ramchandraji was aware of all these things. After all, Bhagavan is Bhagavan. So that is the reason he says that Tumo mama priya bharatahi samabhayi. Because it doesn't mean that he was putting Lakshmana down. Lakshmana never felt bad also. He knows what Sri Ramji meant by saying Priya Bharata. It is only we think of all these things like, wasn't Lakshmana hurt and all that. When there is love, all these things doesn't make any difference. One thing, that always reminds me of what Swami Ramakrishnanandaji, when he was addressing the Balvia teachers in Chinmay Niketan, said, he took a steel plate and in the steel plate he put a banana and he cut that banana into pieces with a knife. And then he said, these banana pieces are all the different opinions. But this steel plate, sturdy steel plate, stands for love and caring. And when that is there, all this difference of opinions doesn't matter. It comes and goes. So, Bharatahi Samabhayi, Lakshmana understands what Sri Ramji meant. And even Lakshmana, used to feel that Bharata was one of the reasons for Sri Ramchandraji's exile. But he realizes when Bharata comes to the forest to take Ramchandraji back, he realizes what kind of love Bharata has towards Rama and what love Sri Ramchandraji has towards Bharata also. So, रघुपति की नी बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई. So we will stop here and we will take the other chopais in our next class. And today, my sister Umakaya is going to chant the Hanuman Chalisa. So all of you mute and chant the whole Hanuman Chalisa, and then we will finish the class. Okay, Umakaya, you can go and I will mute my thing also.
ये गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी परनो रघुवर विमल जसु चोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मही हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीश त्रिलोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बलधामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन बिराज सुबेश कानन कुंडल कुंचित केश हाथ वज्र दो ध्वजा विराजे पांचे मूंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज समारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हरिशूर लाय रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोज जस गावे हस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद शारद सहि सहैसा यम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहांते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहांते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन राम मिलाय राजपति दीन तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण मान लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जान युग सहस्र योजन पर पान लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानो प्रभु मुद्रिका मेरे मुख माहि जल दिलांग लांग कये अचरज नाई दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते तुम सुमगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिन पैसारे सब सुकल है तुम्हारे शरण तुम रक्षक काहो को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपे तीनों लोक हाँकते कापे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन दान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन पल पावे चारों युग प्रताप तुम्हारा हे प्रसिद्ध जगत विजियारा साध संकटे तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम द्वारे अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुमरे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुमरे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हर भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरही, हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करही। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरो हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गुसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव के नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, झूठ ही बंद महासुख होई। जो है पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्ध साकी गौरीशा। तुलसीदास हदा चरिचेरा, की जयनाथ हृदय मर बेरा। पवन तनया संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहिता, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय।
Thank you. Thank you. Uh, and you did good. So next week, who wants to chant? Any volunteers? No volunteers, huh? Nobody wants to chant.
I, I
Okay.
can chant, Geeta.
Okay.
I can chant.
Okay. So if there is,
it will be Sita ji, a week after I can do that.
okay. So next week, Sita, week after it is going to be Hema. Okay. And before we finish it, I just want to let you know, Raghuji moved his Yoga Vashishta class from Tuesdays to Thursday. So I'm going to post that link in the Hanuman Chalisa WhatsApp group. So please, if you have the time, if you want to, please log in for the Yoga Vashishta class. It is going to be from 7 to 8:30 every Thursday. Okay, good, very good. So let us finish the class. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ